Hey, congratulations, because you have already finished the first half of chapter 2 already, which means you have done the motion part. And for now, we'll be using a new chapter notes, which is the second half obviously, and we will focus on forces. So in this video, let me just quickly give you a preview of what we are going to learn and what you need to pay attention to. So first of all, these are the different types of forces, which is quite self-explanatory. So if you want to know more, just go and Google it. Alright, I think it's very easy to understand. Weight is as long as you have gravity, then you have weight, and it could be different on different planets. Tension is when you maybe pulling a string, then there will be tension. It could actually be anything. So for example, if with this pen, if you pull it, there's also tension as well. Friction, I think you are quite familiar. For all the surfaces, actually they have certain amount of friction. Thrust is, for example, for rocket, the propulsion, we call thrust. However, for the word up thrust is a bit different. It's totally different. It's referring to lift actually. So for example, talking about the plane, how they can actually fly is because of the up thrust. We can call it lift as well. Air resistance, we talked about it in the previous part, and we'll explore more in this second half. Speaking of simulation, the first one is called the net force, and there actually should be two more later on. So I'll put the link here, and in fact all the instructions are there, and you just have to go through the setting, just click the button and you will see the result. Alright, the most important thing is about you observe very carefully of what happened and you note it down. Alright, that's part of doing science as well. So it will be very interesting. Remember, for all this simulation, you have to do it yourself first, right, with the guided question given. And then I will show you, my expected result and maybe the so-called model answer for me. Alright, so that will be the first one. And afterwards, you can already see there's another simulation called the free falling and air resistant, which again, we talk about quite a bit of the basic idea in the previous videos, and we'll explore more. And again, you should do it before I tell you the answers that I can obtain and some questions. And afterwards, this is a third simulation of this chapter. Not this chapter, but this second half, and that's called the mass and acceleration. So again, make sure you do it before you watch my video afterwards. Okay, and then we talk about the basic idea of mass and weight and gravitational field strength. Okay, and then we'll go for one interesting question, some past paper question. Okay, the next thing is quite important, right? We talk about vector and scalar when we talk about distance, displacement, velocity, and speed. Here we talk more about how we can work with vector even more. Okay, so there's actually some sort of mathematics we can learn from the idea of vector. When you try to add them together, you don't just add the number. For scalar, you can add the number together, but for vector, we have to consider the direction as well. So we'll explore that even more. And then these are just some exercise, and I think this is the last one called the circular motion, and obviously these are some examples, and that will be it for chapter 2. So for now, please go and follow the instruction for the first simulation activity and finish all the questions, and afterwards go and watch the next video when you finish.